Hello everyone and welcome to Bevan's Bricks, and we're going to be continuing to build the Saturn V build. I left off yesterday, I finished bag 4, so tonight we're going to be starting on bag number 5. Paulbot, why hello there. Kyle, how you doing my friend? And I think we're all ready to go. Let's dig in. Aaron, hello, hello. Little jalapeno. Hello. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking. little jalapeno says this is his all-time favorite set. It is a very cool set, to say the least. I actually had a different camera angle yesterday, but I feel like this one might be better, I'm hoping. And we've got to do 3 of these. Let me get that. There we go. Joshua Long Photography. Hey, my friend. William Crowder. I am not in a competition. I'm not that worried about it anyway, so I doubt I'd probably get through 4 more bags if I had to guess. Why doesn't that look right? That's why. Where I think a lot of people don't understand. You know how hard it is to try and talk, look at instructions, build something, pay attention to what you're doing and all that, all at the same time. It can be extremely difficult. It's a very big set, Aaron. It has 1,969 pieces. But like I said, it's not a competition. I don't care how long it takes. I am in a hurry to build it, but I'm not in a super hurry because I'm still waiting on a deposit before I get into hurry up mode. And once I do that, I probably won't be streaming that much until I am finished with that commission, because it's entirely too hard for me to build on live streams, especially when I have a deadline. Hey, Brick Sergeant, how are you? Kyle Dunbar, I am doing great. I hope you're having a good day also. Paul says I got 20 if you finish stage 2. I don't know how far stage 2 is. How many bags is that into? I will say this, how they have it divided, because, and I actually made too many of these. I need to stop right there. I have to say I really like how they divided the pieces up, because it's made building it extremely easy compared to a lot of sets that I've seen in the past. And thank you so much, Brick Sergeant, for that awesome donation. Brick Sergeant just donated $1.99. You know what? I never got that reference before. Thank you so much for that little tidbit of information. Little jalapeno. That definitely does make sense, though. But like I said, I never even tied that together. But you're absolutely right. That's freaking awesome. Oh, I agree, Aaron. I would love. Well, I am getting the Titanic set. Let me put it that way. That's a must-have. That is something that my wife absolutely loves, is anything that's related to Titanic. And we already have a bunch of collectibles and such that are Titanic. So that is definitely something we are going to be purchasing. Making sure I'm in the right spot. There we go. And we got that one. Why doesn't that look right? One thing I will say, and thank you, Kyle. Kyle just joined the gold member. Well, I shouldn't say just joined. He's been a gold member for quite a while, but He says, glad to see everyone here. Hope all is swell. Bevins, how is your day going? And I thought I already answered that. But like I said, I'm doing good, Kyle. And why? There we go. And last but not least, there we go. Yes, do we all know what the biggest set is, though? There we go. The biggest set is the Colosseum. Originally, the rumors for this set was that it was going to be the biggest, but unfortunately, it was not. But like I said, the original rumors was the Titanic was supposed to be the biggest. And you know what? I'm wondering. 9,000. Okay, I was gonna now that little jalapeno had pointed out the fact of the date. I was gonna say, are the pieces in relevance to the date? No, I know that you're not just joining, Kyle. I think it's funny because it seems like a lot of the live streams here lately. I never noticed that in the past, but it's like if your membership renewed on the day that I'm doing a live stream, it shows you as a new member, which is kind of neat. Don't get me wrong, but I always think it's funny. I am doing good, Steve. Did you get my message, my friend? And I'm about to sneeze, so bear with me. I am trying to fight it. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make, though, Steve, if you didn't get my message, is that I have all those sticker sheets. I scanned them in. So I'm hoping, or I shouldn't say I'm hoping, we need to get together, though, and so I can get them back to you. And then I was also asking in regards to, because we had talked about a Switch. I had asked you about that, but whenever you get a chance, get back to me on that. Oh my God. Titanic and minifig scale, that would be nuts. It'd be cool, but it'd be nuts. That, it wouldn't have been as cheap as it is, let me put it that way. So that's the thing that a lot of people have to take into consideration, because that set, the Titanic, although it's still a Titanic of a set, it's not as massive as I think some people were expecting. But you got to keep in mind the fact that even though it's 9,000 pieces, it's 9,000 very tiny pieces. So just like the Colosseum. The Colosseum, though, what was cool about that, man, is it was a great set, if nothing else, just for parts. Because you got a ton of parts with that Colosseum set. Doing that right? So this one must go here. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. The Mandalorian armor set, that's a Lego set. I know they had the helmet. I didn't know they made a complete armor set, though. Join the club, Steve, because I don't either, and I was going to ask you to send me a pic. Because I have... When I think of what the sizing would be, if you were to lay the track down, and if the thing is coming out that way, I would call that a right. And if you lay the track down and it comes out this way, I would call that a left. But I don't know if that is accurately calling it that or not, to be perfectly honest. That is just purely a guess on my behalf. And I answered that last night too, Kyle, and I said no, I am not going to be bringing back the gold members meet and greets. I really do not have the time. Especially with this commission job coming. I'm not going to have a lot of free time once I start on that, unfortunately, my friend. How long would it take to build the Lego Titanic? That's a very good question. I guess a lot of that would depend, quite frankly, on how many bags they have it separated into. And because it's going to have to be an awful repetitious build, would be my guess anyway. And I forgot to build one of these, obviously. But I would say that would probably be every bit of a, if I wasn't doing live streams anyway, that would be every bit of like a 2 to 3 day. Probably not. I'd say 2-day build. That is purely a guess, though. And I think I got to pop, because I did. I screwed up. I'm going to have to pop one of these back out. Which one did I put in wrong? Should be above the USA. There it is. Am I going to be able to get it out? Where is my handy dandy little pick? Give me 1 second. Thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate it. If I can get this, pop this. This is a little tool that I always recommend to people, just in case you're wondering what I'm using. I love these little tools. You can get them at Harbor Freight, and Kip Hoffman actually informed me that they are still the same price that I originally paid. So that goes over USA, that goes over USA. That one's in the wrong spot. And that one's in the wrong spot. There we go. Now we got it in the right order. Oh no, there goes Kyle. And yeah, I'm sure it will take a lot of patience. I do agree with that. And there you actually have probably the best idea there is, Paul. Because everybody can have meet and greets in Discord, and I don't believe they're timed. That was another problem. I need 6. Because when we were doing those meet and greets, before there wasn't no time frame. And I want to say it was the last meet and greet that we did. They had just updated Google Meets, and they put a time limit on it, which I thought sucked myself, but I get it. They're trying to make more money, because if you upgrade, you won't have to worry about the time limits. And let's take this bad boy. a lot of you guys could actually see some of the conversations that go on in the sidebar, I'm going to call it, you would actually laugh your butts off. There we go. And now we start putting everything up its rear. Quite literally. Where is, there we have it. One, two, three, I'm not sure what you mean by Lego switch. If you're talking about the yellow part, I gotta buy a bunch of those because that big bulk amount of track and stuff I bought, the idiot didn't send me the little yellow switches for it. I want to say though that is something you can buy on Bricklink. I just haven't gotten around to order mine yet. But all my switches are missing that little yellow switch piece, unfortunately. But I would imagine, like I said, that's a fairly common part. Mind you, that still is just a guess. I need to do 4 of those. Trying to keep up with your guys' comments. Looks like a lot of you are talking to each other though. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I agree with you, Aaron. I personally, because I try to keep a movie or something going in the background. You just can't hear it because I could get in trouble for copyright, but I personally prefer to have music going. And that's another reason why when I start doing the commission, I probably won't be doing as many live streams, because that helps me think and get into the mood, so to speak. That's when I am trying to, because a lot of this commission I'm going to be doing here rather soon. There it is. A lot of this commission that I'm going to be doing here rather soon is going to be free built, custom, mock, whatever you want to call it. And with that, I definitely need my focus. When I can go live is when I actually have an actual thought in mind before I go live. Or if I have to do something like that landing platform, I kind of got that planned out. And what I'm looking at doing is probably building a lot of that live, because that is just a very repetitious build. So anytime I'm working on the repetition portion of it, I'll be able to go live. 4. There we go. And those it's hard to tell. Almost looks like it's offset. And that don't look right to me. I guess that's right, but it just doesn't quite look right to me. We're gonna go with it though. And thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Brick Sargent says, Daryl, that is why it's the funny farm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Andrew Phillips, hi, how you doing? He says, I have a majority of ideas sets. This is one that I still need to snag. I heard it is a fun build. I've enjoyed it so far. I will recommend that you do get it rather quickly. And the reason that I say that is this is a second time release for this particular build, this particular set anyway. And my understanding is they're already supposed to be discontinuing it. So if this is something that you do not have and it is something that you are wanting, I really highly recommend you get it rather quickly before it goes bye-bye. And I got to do 4 of these guys. Like I said, though, that was just my understanding. I am not 100% certain on that. But I thought I read that somewhere recently. But after today's video and news, I might have been looking at the final casting for the last one. I want to say if you go on to, I'm trying to remember, I saw it for sale, on sale, not that long ago. And I can't remember if it was Walmart or Amazon, but I did see this on sale not that long ago. I actually bought mine on sale because I've had this for a while. I just haven't built it until now. Oh, I can imagine it's very easy because it's, I mean, it would be very top heavy. So I definitely agree with you and can see that. Let's just build these all real quick. No, this is going to be displayed standing up, but it will have a platform next to it, just like it did for the actual Saturn V launch, a big red platform. And I will be attaching it for that exact reason, because I don't want it to tip. It'll also be attached on the bottom as well, though. So that would be, and I haven't built it fully yet, so I'm not sure, but I would think there'd be a way that you could fasten it to the base to make it even stronger. So that would be the only way you'd want to stand it up, or maybe lean it against a wall or something along that line. Get on there. Oop, one more. There we go. Hey, Philippe. Buckle your shoe. That's the thing. Trying to... This is a very repetitious build, which makes it an easier build, I guess is the point that I'm trying to make. And that's what I always try to point out to people in the aspect of building skyscrapers and stuff. A lot of people think that it's kind of difficult to build a skyscraper. And I can reference basically this to building a skyscraper. And what I mean by that, quite simply, am I doing that right? Why doesn't that look right? Oh, there Okay, yes I am. Quite simply because when you're doing a skyscraper, you're doing a lot of repetition build. Once you figure out your basic pattern and you are happy with it, you just run with it, and it's a matter of just throwing a bunch of the same parts together over and over and over again. And I can kind of liken this particular set to doing a skyscraper because it is a lot of repetition, but it makes it enjoyable and it makes it rather easy to put together. So I definitely give this set an A+ for the ease of build. Because that definitely helps things out when you can just kind of quickly, when you know that you have to build 4 of everything every time you build something and all that good stuff. I thought I'd noticed that on the box. What you're talking about, Paul, as far as there being some really awesome builds at the end. One of them being the, correct me if I'm wrong, at least from looking at the box anyway, is that they have the shuttle that they return in with the little landing flotation device. Because I've already been thinking about how those would look really cool. If I missed something I didn't put on, and that's where I forgot to do it, I think. There it is. I didn't do that. I missed a step there. What I was going to say though is I was looking at making those some of the pieces that I was actually going to put on display inside of the museum. So I totally agree with you. There is some really cool builds. At least that was what I took it from the box art anyway. I thought there was like a little shuttle thing or something also. I don't know. I saw a couple different cool things on the box though, and I assumed that was little bonus builds that went with it. Typically, you're absolutely right, Philippe. Most of the coolest buildings do have a lot of repetition. And that is something I always try to point out to people also, is a lot of times it's not so much the skill level of a builder, it's like I always tell everybody, if you want to have a really interesting and unique looking building, a lot of things are basically quite a bit about greebling. The reason I say greebling is because it's just the more pieces basically you can add to a build, the more unique of a look it'll give it, because all those little pieces add a lot of different texture and detail, and it really helps for a building to stand out. You can take the most basic build, and if you add some greebling to it, it will totally change a lot of the appearance. And it's just quite simply doing the greebling or a whole bunch of small parts that accomplishes that for you. The lunar lander, that was the other thing. See, I thought they were like micro builds too. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to look at the box. And I just realized. There we go. I was forgetting a part. And because I missed this step, I'm going to have to pull that back off to get that back on. There we go. Bear with me while I'm trying to work backwards because I skipped a step. And I will come back to the comments momentarily. There we go. Now I think we can stand her up. Hey Raven, how are you? Aaron says he just got his hair cut. And I should be on bag 7. Yep. That's awesome, Evan. Evan said he just got his Halloween decorations up for 2021. I haven't even tried mine yet, but I know this weekend my daughter will be asking for me to. Paul was saying the minifigs with the lunar lander would make a great display showing the spacesuits. I could so rock this display with you as I am a huge NASA buff. You're saying... Oh, I guess this does come with it. I didn't even notice that. And the camera's too long, but that is very cool. But no, that is my intention, is to have those on display inside of the museum I'm going to be building. That's why I can't wait to hurry up and get some of my parts ordered. Because I have so much stuff I want to order. I'm curious, Paul, being that you are a huge NASA buff, have you ever been to the Houston Museum? Because it actually looks like quite a nice museum, especially for space. At least it looked rather interesting to me anyway. Here. It's funny. I want to say this is Arizona. There was a space museum I remember when I was a kid that my parents took me to. And again, I'm thinking it might be Arizona, but the museum, and tell me if this sounds familiar to anybody. The museum was right next to a huge crater that was in the ground. And I just, still to this day, I totally remember that. Because like I said, it was just, I don't know, it was awe-inspiring seeing that. As a kid, to stand next to this just gargantuan hole in the ground. And to know that it was created by a meteorite that hit the Earth. It was really, really, really fascinating to me. And it, like I said, to this day, I still remember standing there with my parents looking into this great chasm of what was a meteor strike into the Earth. Paul says he hasn't been to the museum in Houston, but he did visit the Johnson Space Center in Florida. Oh, really? That would have been cool. And you got to see an actual landing in California. How awesome is that? Yes. What gray parts? Everything that I got on it, it shows that it's correct. Oh, I didn't put that piece in there right. Really? That 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 crater and stuff that I'm talking about, that is Houston. Reason I'm asking is because I haven't seen it since I was a little kid, and I would just honestly love to see that again. And since I already know I'm heading down that way, if it is in Texas, I definitely want to see it. Just because I want to see if it will still feel the way that it did when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And I want to say when I was there, I couldn't have been but maybe, trying to think, at a guess, maybe 5 years old. It's either 4 or 5. That's why I said it. It really left a memorable mark on me. Talking about these, Paul? Again, that's how the instructions are showing it. Paul's just trying to throw me off. I'm just going to keep going. I guess you're right. They got to be turned in. So yes, I see what you're talking about now, Paul. I thought you were supposed to leave them out like that. Said I will go back to that though. I want to try and get this portion done. Get on. There you go. So it's not really that it's not that they're on wrong. I just didn't flip them down. But I do see what you're talking about now. Crap. I want to make sure I get as much of this together because Paul said I wouldn't finish stage 2 tonight. And he's probably right, but I'm still trying anyway. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate that. Kyle just donated $1.99 because I know this is going to bug Paul until I do it. Actually, now that I'm looking at that, get back on there. Well, you rotten. I'm going to go back to that later. But anyway, that's what Paul was talking about, guys. Oh, okay, so that is in Arizona then. I thought somebody said it was in Texas. Let's say that's what I remembered it was that it was Arizona. But again, it's been so long since I have seen it, and I was very little when I did see it originally, so. But I really would like to see that again. Boy, for what they're showing you, that doesn't go on that tight. And that is very possible. I remember that there was a ton of air or space stuff there, because I remember, and I'll have to ask my mom the next time I talk to her. I remember climbing in, I thought it was one of the shuttles that came back from space, the little pod like what comes in this particular set. But I remember you could climb in that, or it was something to make it to look like that anyway, and get your picture taken. But I am going off some extremely old memories on that. And thank you so much for plugging the channel there, Greg. Trying to keep an eye on my time. tell you what, they have some really cool techniques in this, to say the least. Okay. Yeah, I was watching. Thank you, Kyle. No, I meant how long I've been streaming because I don't want to go past 9:30. How many of these do you got to build? 2. Okay. So let's go. Stop on that one and get to the other one. How many more bags is it to get through stage 2, Paul? Because I know that you would probably know, if anybody, because I know you've built this. Okay, there's 2. And it seems like the closer you get to the top, the more intricate these little builds are getting. I mean, they really had to put some thought into these that I am seeing. And you guys can't see it. Let me lay it down. There we go. Hey, Scott's Blocks, how you doing? And yes, that is one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. I thought I thought I saw, and I can't find it again for the life of me, but I thought I saw an article today when they were saying that they finally proved that we didn't really land on the moon. And I thought, what? I know there's a lot of conspiracy theorists that think that, which always kind of fascinated me. And don't get me wrong, I can see why they think that way. But I could, like I said, I could have swore I saw an article where they were saying that we actually didn't do it. Thank you, Scott. And the funny thing is it's actually wrong. That news article today. So I am trying all different kinds of silly stuff to try and improve things, so to speak. And trying out and testing out, and because I'm really focused here over the last 2 to 3 weeks. I have been trying to focus on my statistics and focus on me doing some of the silly things that I actually enjoy doing, and seeing if it's going to pay off in the aspect of increasing my statistics. And so far, I have to say, and let me, you guys can't see what I'm doing. So far, I have to say, I am noticing an improvement on statistics, on views, and a lot of other things. So I'm really hoping I'm heading in the right direction and on the right track, and that everybody else is enjoying seeing some of the videos as much as I am enjoying making them. Because I'm really trying hard to add a lot more effects, if you will, to my videos, just to try and improve the viewing experience. Yes, I did have a coat on. You are absolutely correct. I didn't know if anybody would even notice that or not. I needed to, it's like somebody had said in the comments, I needed to actually put on a suit and tie, or a tie and a dress shirt also, because I'll be the first to admit I did skip on that. But I thought if I dressed up a little more, maybe it would make it more sellable, is what I was kind of aiming at. That was my goal anyway, was to try and sell it a little better. So I went in the house and grabbed it's one of my old jackets from one of my old suits anyway, brought it out here. It's actually still hanging over in the corner. But I thought, you know what, from now on, when I do a news video, I think I'm going to start wearing a suit every time. Just like I said, just to try and sell it a little better, make it a little more interesting. And I may even try and do the takeaway scenes a little more. I know that was something a lot of people used to really like a lot, was when I would do the where I was talking to myself, more or less, I guess is the best way I can explain it. But I was talking to myself in the little square in the corner. I might try and do that a little bit more often, because I have been desperately trying to learn new things that I can do with editing, again, to try and improve my videos. And I'm trying to slowly implement a lot of the different things that I have learned to my videos, in hopes of making improvements. Greg says no, the jacket was perfect. Steve says Paul Bot has piglets with his Apollo display, so that is the proof that the moon landing was faked. And Raven says that's, and yes, now that I did hear. It's one small step for man, a giant leap for mankind. For a man. But what it was is they said something about, because I actually watched that not that long ago. It was something to do with radio interference, and it blipped out the A. But so it went down in history as being recorded as one small step for man, even though he said that is not what he intended to say, or what he actually said anyway. But that was what was recorded, and that's what everybody always thought. And that goes down there. And now that I've gotten that back together, let me see if I can fix my screw up real quickly. Because I flipped every one of these the wrong way. know if they're... Man. There we go. I am trying to correct my screw up from earlier. This is what Paul was talking about. Just set it down for a minute again. Oh crap, that's the one I didn't take off. Okay, now we can put these back on. So it's going to bug me if I don't correct it. I just popped that piece. Excuse me while we have the testicle difficulties. There's one. Two. Yeah, I'm trying to get it. It's just taking me a minute because I don't want to have to. The way I did it, I actually screwed myself. I'm trying to do it without having to pull the whole thing apart. Because that would just create a huge mess. Okay, 3 down, 1 to go. Last one. There we go. That's what Paul was telling me I had to fix, guys, just so you can see it also. And now I can come back and go forward. And I can see that thing falling over. Kind of leery if I should. You know what? I'm going to lay it down because I have a feeling it's going to go boom if I don't. The original space shuttle was going to be Discovery, not Columbia. I did not know that. Or was not going to be Discovery. It was going to be Columbia. Like I said, I did not know that. What are my thoughts on the Titanic set? Personally, I think it's pretty freaking awesome. I like it, but I do want to say this. Keep in mind, my wife loves Titanic, so that is something that's definitely a must-have for her. And that is something that it is a must-have because it's a must-have for her, it's a must-have for me. So that is something I'm going to be buying. But I personally think it's a pretty cool looking set myself. So that's one of them. Okay, it only says to build one, surprisingly. If it wasn't for the wife, I still think it's a cool set, don't get me wrong. And yes, absolutely, Philippe, I agree. Definitely keeping it down. But the Titanic set, I mean, when you look at the price point, 9,000 pieces for $630, I mean, really, how can you go wrong? And keep in mind, I do realize it's going to be a ton of small pieces. So, I mean, I know that already off the, just from seeing it, but I still think it's a pretty good deal. But I don't think it'll be a popular set. And here's what I mean by that. Not many people are into Titanic. A lot of the people that are into Titanic, well, a lot of people into Titanic are kind of dead. Or, but I don't see, I guess, it being a super popular set, except for people like I myself. And again, quite simply, because it's something my wife is interested in. Because if it wasn't for my wife, it's not something I would probably buy unless I was into that type of memorabilia myself. And don't get me wrong, I think it's extremely neat. And did I put too many in? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Oh, I'm using the wrong part. There we go. But it's like a lot of the different sets that Lego's been coming out with lately. I kind of feel, I mean, I know they're after the adult market, number one. Which, I mean, that's obvious. But I almost feel like they're chasing the adult market a little too hard, to the fact that I don't think they're kind of hitting it right. Because, I mean, I feel sets like that are definitely a big seller for a small group of people. But to me, Lego should be focusing more on the stuff that a lot of people want, I guess would be a good way of putting it. Because I don't see that particular set being a huge seller for them. Even though someone like myself will be buying it, I don't see that being a set for a ton of people. Just kind of my 2 cents on it. And am I? Yes. But I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it'll be a huge seller. I personally, my thoughts are, I feel like Lego has kind of been getting a little greedy. That's just kind of my thoughts on it, because they keep raising prices. They keep doing all these different things. And don't get me wrong, us as adults, we love these super little detailed sets. But I guess where I feel Lego's biggest problem is they need to slow it down a little bit. Because it's freaking awesome that they're doing all this stuff, but they're doing it at such a breakneck speed. And a lot of people just quite simply, quite frankly, cannot afford it. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. And I think by the speed that they're releasing a lot of them sets, they're going to find their titty in a ringer. Because I think they're getting ahead of themselves. Because just this past year, we had all these massive, and I mean massive, adult sets. And I kind of feel like it's going to come back to bite them. But I could be wrong. Philip says, side note, he actually has the Titanic building set. It's not Lego compatible, and it includes the iceberg. That would be cool. Exactly, Scott. Because I mean, I'm just sitting here trying to think to myself, kind of, what? Because I mean, there's a ton of them that came out this year, over this past year. I mean, we had sets like just over this last year. I mean, let's sit and think about it. Say that Kobe set of the Titanic looked cool to me because I'd actually contemplated buying that for my wife. But just over the last year, let's think about all these insanely huge sets that they've come out with these insane price tags. We've had a typewriter, we've had a piano, we've had the Coliseum. Now we got the Titanic coming out. We had the Nintendo, the original Nintendo Entertainment System. We had God, what else was there? The Stratocaster guitar sets, or set and amp. We had, I don't know, that I just, not trying to beat a dead horse, but like I said, I personally feel like they're overdoing it. Just my 2 cents. I mean, it's great that they want to impress, and thank you so much. Smart butt. But thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate that. But like I said, not to try and beat a dead horse, I feel like they need to slow their roll a little bit. If they want to keep the adults interested and they want to keep people buying them, they need to slow their roll a little bit. They're just getting way too far ahead of themselves. And sadly, I really don't think they will. I think they're just going bonsai. And they're not really looking ahead at things. And what I mean by that is, quite frankly, well, I better shut up about that. Either way, you guys, I think you guys get my point. Yeah, well, you know what I will say, and I still need to make my video on that. I started putting all the pieces on it earlier today. I just never got to finish it. But since you're talking about fingers hurting with Lego, and maybe it's just because I'm so used to working with Lego. I don't care if it's small pieces or not. It generally does not hurt my fingers. But like that, I think you can see it anyway. The light take set that's behind me that made the version of my train station. To me, it's a really nice looking set. I mean, I think they did a good job with it. It's not Lego pieces, of course, and I did point that out to everybody. It is Lego compatible, so to speak, because it does work with Lego pieces. But the thing I was going to say with it is the clutching power on their particular set is kind of like, holy cow, unreal. And now that set, I'll tell you right now, if your fingers hurt with standard Lego sets, oh my God, they're going to kill you building that light take set, because that set, man, holy crap. Like I said, the clutching power is just so thick on it, it does hurt your fingers, quite literally, putting it together. Where Lego, I've done it for so many years, it really doesn't faze me anymore. Doesn't faze me any less. And I agree, Scott. We've been overly bombarded. And so far, the Lego community has been supporting them, but I think they're going to find some kickback here. What I mean is, people aren't going to keep spending the money on Lego like they have been. There is going to be a big slowdown at some point. And when that happens, I think Lego's really going to kick themselves for making all these huge sets. And you may even be able to find those at some really great bargains. So, I mean, it could end up working out for the best for us in the long run. But we'll see soon enough. I guess that's the best way I can look at it. But I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot of really high-priced sets going up for clearance over here in the next year or two. I'll personally be surprised if we don't. Just kind of my feelings on it anyway. Because I feel like I said they're saturating the markets. No, you are right with that also, Paul. I know they don't expect everybody to buy every set, but I mean, how many huge sets like that can you sell, I guess, is kind of my thought on that. I mean, there's got to be kind of a tipping point to where people are just going to be like, you know what, I like it, but I can't afford it anymore. End of story. Paul bot, smile and wave, guys. Smile and wave. I am trying to speed this. At least finish this bag anyway. Did I put that? No, I didn't put that one on. Say Paul still caved and gave me the booby prize though. You just assimilate. Well, you are the part of the collective there, Paul. I gotta build 2 of those. Paul is a Borg. So you're talking about building stuff and ripping it apart, and that's where a lot of people actually think I'm nuts. Because there's a lot of sets that I have built over the years, and I mean, it's part of the reason I have such a huge Lego collection. There's sets that I bought, I loved them, I thought they were cool, I put them together, looked really neat, ripped it apart, threw it in my bins. Just because I like something doesn't mean I'm going to keep it to put on display. But I do know that I am not the typical Lego collector either. And you need to get, there you go. So you need to get on there. Yes, no. Other side. Almost done with this bag. And yeah, you're right, Paul. I think I get it now. You're right. I'm not finishing it, am I? I'm finishing the bag, but I'm not finishing this section. But like I said, you would know because you have this and built it already. I'm just personally very thankful. This is all printed parts. To me, that makes the set much more valuable in my opinion. And I forgot to put those down. And we're good. Got that. Let's see how much we have to go in bag 9. What time is it? Oh, crap. Just because Paul said I can't do it, let's see if I can speed this portion together. I got to do 4 of these, so let's see how quickly we can slap all this together. I am just going to go into speed build mode, so bear with me if I'm not super talkative. Oh, that's 4. Time me, Paul. Okay, starting with this one. Stop it. We will not let the board collective win. The White Stripes video? Which video was that? Oh, I did that one wrong. There we go. Yep, there we go. And again, I am trying to speed build, so I'm not going to pay too close attention, so I apologize. I'm glad you're entertained, Paul. Is it not fast enough? Is that why it's hilarious? You can blow. You know what I'm saying. Oop. I think I'm going quick, so I just can't talk while I'm doing it generally. Get on there. I thought that was good anyway. And welcome Andrew Phillips to bronze. To the moon, Alice. To the moon. Either way, I know there's still that little piece there, so I'd have to open another bag, but this is as far as I was trying to get tonight, and look at that. Now we have that much of the rocket together. Pretty cool, I think, anyway. I only have 3 bags to go, but it is late. That only took 8 minutes, so I don't think that was pretty bad or that slow, Paul. Like I said, just my opinion anyway. I don't think it was that slow. Yeah, let's pull that back apart. There we go. Anyway, I can actually build a little quicker, as you can tell, and that ain't focusing. I don't know why that ain't focusing in. And yes, that thing is massive. I think when this is built, it's a little over, at least I thought I said it on the front of the box, it's a little over 3 feet. It is 39.37 inches. So like I said, it's just 3 inches over 3 feet. Oh, Paul said I never said it was slow. He just says it's funny. Just showing that the old man still has it, as you like to call me. But anyway, though, guys, with that little entertaining show, trying to do super quick building. And Steve said his cat was watching me speed build. Like I said, that's the only way I can build quick, is I can't talk. I have to build, and then I can do actually stuff kind of quickly. And does that not? Yeah, that is. That piece I don't think is popped in all the way. At least I don't. There, it's a little better. Get that there. But like I said, I'm going to leave this laying down because I know that if I stand that up, that thing's going to go timber, and I do not want it to go timber. Actually, Grumpy J, that would be really fun to do. Am I going to do that? I don't know. Maybe if I can get another one. This one already has plans. This is going to be going into that big display I'm working on, but So this one won't be getting exploded, but maybe next summer I could build one of these and let's see if we can launch it and maybe make it explode. Might be a little bit of a fun video. But anyway, though, guys, because I already stayed up later than I intended, just to prove a point to Mr. Paulbat, and thank you again, Paulbat. But I'm going to roll that beautiful bean footage, as I like to do at the end of all my streams. And I just want to see, and thank you, Scott. And I just want to say a very quick, very special thank you to all those that have helped support the stream. And with that, I want to say thank you to Brick Sargent, Kyle Dunbar, and Paulbot. And I don't know why it is showing so many new members. I guess a whole bunch of people got raw membership reunited today. But B. Perez, Raven319, Steve Weisner, and Andrew Phillips. It shows that all joined today. And I know several of those guys were already members, but but anyway, though, guys, like I said, I got to end the stream here. So as always, thank you for coming to Bevan's Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below. And look for the video tomorrow explaining why I am building